Now we're here. Gather close and keep the lights low. Sit back, relax, and prepare to hear the story of little old Hartsbridge and the cursed village that became a ghost town. Cast your minds back to the late 60s, out on the Yorkshire moors, back when the hills still breathed green and the pubs poured freely. Tourists came in droves, young couples, families, the hopeful and the lost. They'd drink, they'd dance, and they'd leave with stories of sunsets and stone bridges. Yet, under all that charm, something terrifying stirred. At the edge of the village lived an old man, Ezekiel Fellows. Nobody knew much about him. He didn't drink, didn't talk, never fit amongst the others. The kind of man whose shadow seemed to move a second slower than he did. When he walked the streets, folk crossed to the other side without knowing why, and for now, keep him in mind. The first of the vanishings came in the early 60s. A young couple, Robert and Eleanor Holmes. Sweet pair. Here for a week, then gone with the mist. Everyone thought they'd packed up and gone home until their car turned up, a few miles down an old road, doors open and radio still humming. After that, more went missing. Tourists, strangers, a farmer's boy. Only fragments ever came back, buttons, teeth, scraps of fabric left in gutters like offerings. The air turned heavy with whispers, paranoia and dread, and with it, Hartsbridge began to decay and die from the inside. The real end began one cold night when a few village lads went out past curfew, down toward the old well, just on the outskirts of Old Fellow's house. It hadn't been used in decades, the stone was cracked and the rope long since rotted, but boys will be boys and dares must be answered. Among them was Samuel Pitts, a bright lad with mismatched eyes, one brown and one blue. A brave and curious lad. He volunteered to go down first. His friends held the rope, laughing as he descended, his voice echoing back to keep lowering him into the darkness. Until suddenly, Samuel started to scream. They tried to pull him back up, but the rope jerked, went slack, and all that returned was silence. By the time the villagers came, the screaming had stopped. Samuel's father went down himself to find his boy. Yet, what he saw in the darkness never left him. Bodies stitched into the walls, faces frozen mid-plea, 100 missing souls walled into the earth, and among it all, dangling from the rope that should have carried Samuel home, the hanging bloody tendrils of two small eyes, one brown, one blue. They blamed Ezekiel. Of course they did. Who else could it have been? They burned his house that same night. He screamed through the flames that they'd made a mistake. He pleaded that the well was never his, and just before his body gave way to smoke, he cursed them all to hell. If my innocence burns, your peace will burn with it. I'll be waiting for your children and your children's children. They'll all perish for your deeds, he screamed as the flames bubbled his skin. The fire died eventually, and with it, Ezekiel turned to ash. The years passed, but the disappearances never stopped. The pubs closed, the houses emptied, and Hartsbridge fell silent. Now, here's the part I need you to listen to carefully as we stand right where that well once was. The stones beneath our feet still breathe, and sometimes if you lean in close, you can hear it. The sound of a rope still creaking, the sound of a small voice whispering, and the sickening cries of Samuel from the deep dark below. So, all that leaves is to ask, who of us will be brave enough to go down first?